Good evening. We want to thank you for being here this evening as we celebrate the class of 2020. Although I think we'd all rather be outside on the football field or even gathered here in the gym, we appreciate you tuning in to help us recognize these students' accomplishment. And now, South Stokes graduation, class of 2020.
Staff of 10, hut. Staff, draw. Swords. Arc. Swords. Carry. Swords. Return. Swords. Dismiss.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, everyone. On the behalf of Class of 2020, I would like to welcome you to this unusual yet very exciting graduation ceremony. Thank you all for taking the time to celebrate the graduation of this amazing class and new beginnings from your homes, surrounded by your friends and family. I would now like to open up the ceremony in prayer. Dear God, we would like to thank you for these past 4 years of friendships, experiences, and the opportunity to grow as individuals. I pray that every graduate here today reaches their goals in life, all the while never missing out on all the moments and memories that come along with it. God, I pray that we all live life to the fullest and that we surround ourselves with happiness. Thank you, God, for keeping us safe through our high school years, and I pray that you continue to watch over us throughout wherever this journey called life takes us next. Amen.
Good evening. I want to thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the class of 2020. Before I address this amazing group of young adults, I want to express appreciation to a few groups of individuals. Now, more than ever before, it is glaringly obvious that South Stokes High School is not just a collection of buildings on South Stokes High Drive. South Stokes High School is the people, past, present, and future, who collectively have helped shape lives in our community and beyond. I want to say thank you to the County Commissioners, School Board, Superintendent Dr. Brad Rice, and our district leaders who ensure we can provide the learning experiences our students deserve. I appreciate our staff members who in 2 weeks' time reimagined their roles as educators and discovered how to deliver instruction remotely while also maintaining personal contact with their students. To our SARA community, thank you for choosing to watch from your homes tonight and your continuing support of students, evident through your many displays of celebration, from the senior signs in Walnut Cove to the congratulatory messages on social media. And most importantly, as I look out over the faces of our 2020 graduates, I see beyond the printed photos on your seats to the parents, families, and friends who showed up for our students' games, communicated about student needs, visited as guest speakers, and encouraged students through their coursework. South Stokes is not just a place. You all are South Stokes. And I want to thank you for tuning in with us this evening. Graduation is always a special time. This year, the culminating event for our class of 2020 looks very different than ever before. Our seniors went from experiencing spring fever in late February to trying to avoid the fever. They went from seniors beginning to test the true start time of school to essential workers, many working more hours than the adults and their families. COVID-19 has changed so much about our world, yet although we are not gathered together in the stadium or in the gym, that does not change the fact that our SARA graduates are the face of the future. During their junior year, I remember talking to one of these students and asking what they would call themselves. Would they be the class of 2020 or the class of 2020? I will never forget the puzzled look on the student's face and the quick response. We're just the class of 20. That's when it hit me just how many differences there are between this graduating class and many of those in the past. I don't know about you, but when I hear about the 20s, I think Roaring and The Great Gatsby. I think fedoras and flappers, women's right to vote, and the invention of washing machines and radios. These students were born in a new century. They're living in a new era. Throughout their lives, their references to the 20s are going to be 5G, cybersecurity, social distancing, mass gathering restrictions, facial recognition, and blockchain. They will remember when they had to go online to purchase things, which were then delivered to their doors by drones, the time they couldn't come to school or have their hair cut, and the time their Google searches were able to predict what they were looking for before they even typed it. They will not only refer to themselves as the class of 20, but also the quarantine class, or 2 toilet paper roll, 2 toilet paper roll. When I first started writing this speech, I was determined to avoid 2020 references. I didn't want to talk about hindsight being 2020 or normal vision, but when COVID-19 changed the course of your spring semester, I realized avoiding the phrase was impossible. For years to come, people will look back at this time and analyze what went well and what went wrong. Just like a chapter in a book, life sometimes gives us things we don't expect. It reveals things about our character we may not have even known ourselves. If I were to ask each of these students how they have changed since they came to high school, they may list physical changes, relational changes, and changes in their family structures. They may talk about the current pandemic and the disappointment of not having a senior prom or not being able to go out to eat in a restaurant. They may talk about changes in post-high school plans or improved athletic abilities or academic accomplishments. But what I hope more than anything is that they would say they've learned what it means to persevere, to overcome, to prove others wrong. Because if they can say these things, they have developed the confidence, determination, and resilience they will need to be successful. Enduring difficulties and challenges changes your perspective. You selected Luke Combs' 6 Feet Apart as your class song. And as he says in the song, it's a mystery just how long this thing goes, but there'll be crowds and there'll be shows. There will be light after dark. Just like Combs points out, this pandemic has helped many of us realize what's really important. Class of 2020, you will be an important influence on people who will likely see the year 3000. There will be light after dark, even though it may not feel like it right now. I hope you have discovered within yourself and will impart to generations to come that in the end, we should spend time doing what matters. Show your friends and family you love them. Do what matters. Help someone in need. Do what matters. Listen to all sides and then use your best judgment about what is right. And even when the light returns, I hope you'll remember to do what matters. You are the class of 20. Even though you may feel like the class of 19 and a half or 2-ply, you are the face of the future. You are South Stokes. COVID-19 is sure not to be the only challenge you face in life, but you have proven that you should not be underestimated. We are extremely proud of you, of who you are, and all you will accomplish, and we know that you are ready to do what matters.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. When I was the Director of Support Services in Asheboro City Schools, we had a tradition of making t-shirts each spring for kindergarten registration that would say the class of and then their graduation years. I remember one day in the spring of 2007 walking into the superintendent's office and seeing a t-shirt that said the class of 2020. And that day I thought, in 13 years, graduation speeches are going to talk about having a 2020 vision for the future. Then we had a global pandemic, and I'm sure graduation speeches around the country will center around COVID-19 or coronavirus. But I do think that both topics are appropriate topics for today. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm." And it's my belief that the key to being able to do that is to have the vision and focus on a goal. Watching a video commencement ceremony is not a failure, but I'm sure it's a disappointment for many graduates and their families. You'll continue to have disappointments and, yes, failures in your life. My advice is to not dwell on them. Have a vision and keep working toward your goals. You'll learn that disappointments are opportunities to learn how to cope, how to adjust, and be flexible, and provide opportunities to be successful in the face of adversity. I'm disappointed too. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to see the girls' soccer team compete for a state championship this spring. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to see the senior spring play. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to see the talent show after awards day this year. But as your superintendent, my goal is that South Stokes prepare you for the next step in your life. My goal is to see Georgia Brewer as a nurse. My goal is to see Jackson Bowles win an NCAA wrestling championship and maybe even wrestle in the 2024 Olympics. My goal is to sit in an orthodontist chair and get a great deal on straightening my bottom teeth from Daniel Falk. My goal is to see each of you attack the next stage in your life as Shamar Dalton attacked the basketball courts here at South. If you do, you'll reach your goals. and that will help me to reach my goals. If graduation was your goal, you've achieved it. But now's the time to set a new goal for you to strive. I firmly believe that those who have failed and who have been disappointed in their life truly appreciate success much more than someone who's never failed or never been disappointed. Today may not be the celebration that you've envisioned for the last 13 years, but don't let that diminish what you've accomplished. It should never, and don't let that diminish what you're capable of achieving in the future. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Please keep in touch. We want to know about your future successes.
Our first speaker this evening will be Mr. Paul Thomas Fisher. Paul Thomas is the son of Kevin and Lucy Fisher of King. In his time at South, Paul Thomas has been a member of Mu Alpha Theta, National Honor Society, Beta Club, and Pep Club. He served as a junior marshal co-chief and is also recognized as a North Carolina Scholar. While at South, Paul Thomas has worked hard in the classroom, earning magna cum laude. Yet we all know that PT's true passion is football. He served as captain for his junior and senior years and was named All-Conference 2 years and twice was awarded honorable mention for All-Northwest. He was also voted Offensive Most Valuable Player his junior year and Overall Most Valuable Player his senior year. For his outstanding academic and athletic performance, Paul Thomas was awarded the North Carolina Coaches Association Scholarship, the Bobby Duncan Memorial Scholarship, and a Dean Scholarship from the College of Wooster. In the fall, Paul Thomas will attend the College of Wooster in Wooster, Ohio, and major in business and economics. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Thomas Fisher.
When I found out I was going to be giving a recorded speech for the graduation, I had two thoughts. First being, how am I going to avoid the awkward silence after the punchline of my jokes? So to solve this, Ms. Cheek and Ms. Gallimore have agreed to laugh at all my jokes, even if they're not funny. So thank you. My second thought was, where am I going to get some inspiration for this speech? Because I really had no clue how to write one. So I thought about talking to my family for some inspiration, when they have been with me my entire life. So I'm sure they could give me some pretty good stuff to write about. But ultimately, I decided against it. So my next thought was to call up some of my closest friends. I'm sure all of us being together would stir up some kind of creative genius for me, but once again, I decided against it, mainly because of social distancing guidelines. So like all the other brilliant minds of my generation, I eventually went to YouTube for my inspiration. And while on YouTube, found some great speeches. Like these are some A-quality speeches, but I noticed something about these videos. They were all from 2015. For the most, this wouldn't be worth noticing, but for me, it's hard to imagine the same class that graduated my brother Mario being capable of producing such speeches. But in all seriousness, I couldn't be more honored to speak on behalf of South Stokes class of 2020. It's been quite the journey from all of us, from freshman year to now, and especially from kindergarten to now. Seems like just yesterday we were on CBS News for our 5th grade Civil War camp. By the way, it's just another reason why London Elementary is the best. But hey, look at us now. We're graduates. We did it. But what exactly did we do? Well, since freshman year, we have completed 740 days, 2,960 class periods, and 5,180 hours of high school, all contributing to 290 sporting event and wins. And that's not including our wrestling team. Sorry guys, it wasn't on Max Preps. Over these past 4 years, we've been through so many changes, both physical and emotional. We've been able to find out who we are as people. And I can say confidently that the class of 2020 is full of remarkable human beings. Each year of high school has brought its own unique set of challenges for our class. Let's start with freshman year. We were at the bottom of the food chain, and the most important thing to us was learning how to fit into this wild new environment. Some of us stuck with our small circle from middle school. Others branched out and formed a new crowd. And of course, some of us decided to date a senior. You know who you are. And for me, freshman year was the start of an amazing time here at South. And it gave me some of the best classes I've ever had. I'm talking about U-Foods one. Then there came sophomore year. For most of us, this can be looked at as the most boring year of high school. As we weren't little freshmen anymore, but we also weren't anywhere near the top of the social pyramid. The workload increased from the year before, but it was still very manageable. This doesn't mean we didn't have great times during sophomore year, though. I mean, for those of you in my American History 1 class, surely remember Chester. Pulling that off definitely deserves some recognition. For me, though, sophomore year brought many new things. My first girlfriend, my first varsity sport, new lifelong friendships, and my first F on a test. Thanks, Ms. Patterson. But most importantly, sophomore year was the year I saw my sister Hannah graduate. My whole life, she's always been my biggest critic. Whether it was in school, sports, or just life in general, she always thought I could do better. And without this constant reminder of there's room for improvement, I knew I wouldn't be standing here giving this speech. So Hannah, I know we annoy each other to death sometimes, but I can't thank you enough for all you've done for me. You truly make me a better version of myself. Next came junior year, and boy was it rough. We were finally upperclassmen. It was our time to shine. But the pressure was on. This year alone arguably decided our entire future. Testing always seemed to be the topic of conversation, whether it was the ACT, SAT, or just class testing, where every teacher wanted to give us a test on the same day. The shadow of college began to loom over all of us, but so did our first taste of senioritis. Despite all the stressful days and sleepless nights junior year brought, it also gave us some of the best highlights of our high school experience, such as our first prom and our last prom. During junior year, we all saw ourselves grow in so many different ways. We overcame every obstacle life tried throwing at us, even if it meant we had to reach out for some help. I also got my second girlfriend this year, just in case anyone was keeping count. Senior year. Just saying that right now gives me so many different thoughts and emotions. March 12th, 2020. That was the last time our class got to all be together here at South Stokes. It was an ordinary Thursday, and at that point, we'd all heard of coronavirus, but it was one of those things where you never thought it'd actually affect you. And yet here I am, giving my speech in an empty gym. This virus took away the last 3 months of our senior year, but it took away so much more than just school for us. We lost our final season of high school sports, a season that was destined for greatness. We lost our senior prom, a night where we would all party together one last time. We lost our last awards day, a day where all of our hard work over the past 4 years would have been recognized. We lost our graduation, a ceremony that was meant to be spent together, where we could all celebrate the culmination of the past 13 years of our lives. And as our class had all these events taken away, I think we can all agree that missing out on making those last high school memories with our best friends hurt the most. Coronavirus sucks. There's no doubt about that. But has it been worse than not getting to go to Carowinds our 7th grade year? That I don't know. Mike Rose said, "I'm looking forward to the future and feeling grateful for the past." So class of 2020, as we all go live out the rest of our lives and look back on our senior year, I urge you not to dwell on what we missed out on, but instead cherish all that we were able to accomplish together, especially that football win over West Stokes. Before I get into the last section, I want to thank the people that helped me get to this point in my life. First, I want to thank every teacher that has the privilege of having me in class. Just kidding. But seriously, I honestly can't think of one bad teacher I've had in my life. That just goes to show how blessed myself and the entire class has been with our education. Without you guys, none of us would be the people we are today. And for that, we are truly thankful. I also want to thank all the coaches I've had over the years. Football has been my passion ever since middle school. And with the guidance of my coaches, I'm lucky enough to continue playing the sport I love for the next 4 years. Hope you understand how much I appreciate each and every one of you. Next, I want to thank my classmates. I consider each and every one of you my friend. Some of you have become like family to me, and I'm going to miss you guys so much. I know I've let some of you down in the past, and for that, I'm deeply sorry. But know wherever our trails lead to, I'll always be here for you. And finally, I want to thank my family. Y'all have been there for me literally since day one. You've impacted every moment of my life, whether you realize it or not. And I credit all my success so far in life to you guys. I know we argue a lot, usually on who's the best looking. It's me, by the way. But I love all of you from the bottom of my heart, even if I'll never admit it. So this leaves us at the end of my speech, my last farewell to the class of 2020. The greatest author of all time, Dr. Sshs, said, "Kid, you'll move mountains." And with everything we've been through recently, I know we're going to move a lot more than just mountains. The world around us is changing. It's changing fast. So be a part of the change. Make this world one that you're proud to live in. Don't settle for average. Try to be the best and make the best of every situation. We're all going to face challenges in our future. Some may seem impossible to overcome, while others are going to seem just plain scary. But as Seth Godin said, if it scares you, it might be a good thing to try. So as the sun sets and our time here at South Stokes, a new chapter of our lives begins, I ask you to remember one thing from me. In a world that's so driven by money, power, and physical possessions, it's hard to find genuine joy. So I'll challenge everyone listening to this right now to follow your excitement in life and always choose happiness over everything. With this, we'll never lose sight of our true goals. Until we see each other again, South Stokes. Thank you, and God bless.
Our next speaker this evening is Miss Cameron Brooke Hall. Cameron is the daughter of Rodney and Christy Hall of Germantown. In her time at South, Cameron has been a member of Mu Alpha Theta and National Honor Society. Cameron served as Beta Club president and co-president of the senior class. She served as a junior marshal co-chief and is also recognized as a North Carolina scholar. While at South, Cameron has worked hard in the classroom, earning summa cum laude honors. While balancing a rigorous academic load, Cameron has been a competitive dancer at Dance Perfections Arts Company for the last 14 years. For her outstanding academic work, as well as her commitment to her community, Cameron was awarded the Germantown Ruherton Scholarship, the Lucy Collins Foundation Scholarship, and the O.T. Neal Scholarship. In the fall, Cameron will attend the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and major in biology. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cameron Hall.
To the class of 2020, as I stand here today, I have to admit this is not at all what I dreamed of seeing as I gave my graduation speech. I pictured chairs full of eager, hopeful, and somewhat bored peers, stands full of beaming parents with teary eyes, proud smiles, and holding up phones filled with way too many pictures and videos. However, instead, I'm standing here today looking at empty chairs, empty stands, and talking to a camera. I won't lie, when I realized that my senior year, our senior year, was cut short during the most vital and lively parts of our final months at South, I was angry. I asked, why us? Why the class of 2020? It took a while for it all to resonate with me, for me to come to some sort of peace with the fact that I would never walk the halls of South Stokes as a regular student again. No more smart breakfast with Miss Patterson, no naps on Campbell's couch, or Colombian coffee from Miss Jaffe, and no more stealing hand sanitizer from Dunn. I like to ask myself, if I knew that March 12th was the last time I'd sit in a classroom, would I have done anything different? Would I have paid attention just a little bit more, looked up from my phone just for a minute, walking from building to building, or just hugged my friends a little tighter, or laughed a little harder? But the truth is, we didn't know that March 12th was our last day here. We didn't know that our homes would be our new classrooms, or that we'd spend the rest of the school year learning from a computer. This isn't a sob story for us, class of 20. It's a life lesson. It's reality. We are never promised the plans we have made for tomorrow, or the next week, or even years from now. I mean, don't you remember in kindergarten when they asked what you wanted to be when you grew up? We answered superhero, astronaut, or in my case, a ballerina. They asked us again in middle school. We answered basketball player, president, or in my case, a veterinarian. My point is, here we stand today as chemistry majors, art majors, business majors, or even undecided. Did we end up as the superheroes and ballerinas we hoped to be almost 13 years ago? No. Our plans have changed. We may not even have a plan anymore. When they ask us what we want to be now, we don't have to have a serious answer. Some of us don't even have an answer at all. I'm majoring in biology, but who knows, I could become a basket weaver. This isn't the time to make hard and fast decisions. This is the time to make mistakes. I know my mom sitting here in the front row didn't like hearing that, but it's the truth. Take a wrong bus or train and get stuck somewhere. Go travel and eat food you didn't even think was edible. Fall in love, miss your flights, major in philosophy, because how do you make a career out of that? Change your mind and change it again, because the plans we make are not promised nor permanent. Make as many reasonable mistakes as you can while we're young. That way someday when they ask us what we want to be, we won't have to guess. We'll know. Carry these uncertain and unprecedented times with us as we go throughout life, not as unpleasant memories of quarantine and social distancing, but memories of growth both personally and as a class. As Miss Sheila Patterson would say, we are living through history. However, to add to that, I say we are the history. Seriously, what other class got to graduate virtually or take tests in their pajamas? I mean, hey, we were born during 9/11, lived through 3 recessions, and now we are graduating during a global pandemic. Give yourself some credit, class of 20. We lived through a lot. And the truth is, will live through even more. Go conquer this crazy world. Just remember this. Why not you? You've already made it this far. I would like to say thank you to anyone and everyone who impacted my life in the last 4 years here, student or staff. Whether we are best friends, acquaintances, or have never spoken a word to each other, thank you. You have, in some way or another, helped me to get where I am today, both academically and personally. My sincere thanks go out to all of the South Stokes staff that have made our unique graduation both possible and extremely personal. Your dedication to make this year, our year, so special does not go unnoticed. There are very few staff members that I was blessed with the opportunity to learn from and to love as well. Mrs. Becky Patterson, thank you for dealing with me nearly every morning for Smart Breakfast since my sophomore year. You're the only person that has ever made me enjoy math even the slightest bit, and one of the very few people who can spot my "I have absolutely no idea what is happening right now" face. I will forever cherish the 3 years I had in F6. Miss Spargo, thank you for handling every mental breakdown on your blue couch. You have taught me that there is indeed nothing that chocolate cannot fix. I truly would not be here today without your guidance. Seriously, I asked her daily if I really had to graduate and go to college or if it was just optional. Senora Jaffe, thank you for teaching me to love a culture that is not my own and inspiring my passion for community service. I have no words to express how deeply you have touched my life since Spanish 1. Thank you for always encouraging me, motivating me, and for always having good coffee. Siempre Sierra tu Frida. To a few of the faces I wish were sitting in these chairs today, the Rock Gang, Bingo Night, and Friday the 13th, thank you for countless memories that span from Central Park to the Cookout parking lot. You know who you are and how much you have touched my life. No matter how far we go, even as far as New York City, I hope we all remember where home really is and where the people that love us most dwell. To the class of 2020, this might be the last time I speak to you as a whole. So if I leave you with anything, I'll leave you with some words of advice. I'm not old and wise, but here's my 2 cents of wisdom I've gained from being on this earth for 18 years. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something, especially not yourself. Be the kind of person that builds bridges instead of walls. Continue to share your heart with people, even if it's been broken. As my dad would always say, always remember that can't never could. Limit your always and your nevers. Do what you love, not what you're told to love. Remember your roots, and that no matter how far you go or who you become, you'll always be a Sarah. Thank you.
Ms. Cheek, I present to you the class of 2020. Cameron Brooke Hall, summa cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Mu Alpha Theta, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Kelsey D. Hawkins, summa cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Ashley Elizabeth Hyatt, summa cum laude, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Maggie Catherine Collins, magna cum laude, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Paul Thomas Fisher, magna cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Mu Alpha Theta, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Madeline May Shore, magna cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Chloe Ann Tucker, magna cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Mu Alpha Theta, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Lene Elizabeth Bowman, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, National Honor Society. Georgia Lauren Brewer, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Laura Jo Brown, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, National Honor Society. Elijah Matthew Dunn, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, National Honor Society. Hannah Nicole Ferris, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, National Honor Society. Daniel Joseph Falk, cum laude, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Jaden Marie Hicks, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Matthew Trennis Montgomery, cum laude, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Colby Jr. Sewell, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club, National Honor Society. Cadence Leanne Sorrell, cum laude, North Carolina Scholar, National Honor Society. Destiny Nicole Agee, Bryson Ward Autry. Reagan Rochelle Badgett. Waylon Patrick Barcy. Joshua Cole Barnes. Rayanne Lee Bartle. Noah Jacob Bennett. Zachary Reed Bennett. Kayla Marie Burkholtz, North Carolina Scholar, Mu Alpha Theta, Beta Club. Nicholas James Blakely. Jackson Gray Bowles, North Carolina Scholar. Savannah Lee Brown, North Carolina Scholar. Grayson Ashton Bullens. Noah Ray Bullens. Parker Bryce Bullens. Asanta Danae Carter. Andrew Michael Cassidy. Miguel Angel Chavez, in absentia. Jeffrey Allen Childress III. Brandon Ray Clark. Madison Diana Clifton. Trinity Anastasia Collins. Josiah Omarion Dalton. Shamar Antonio Dalton. Carrie Allen Decker. Jacob Aaron Denny. Michaela Brooke Douglas, in absentia. Rachel Elizabeth Finner. Zev Alexander Flincham. Cheyenne Rose Forrest. Brianna Renee Garcia. Melanie Kayleen Garris. Richard Gonzalez. Christian Kimari Gossett. Brooke Kylin Hairston. Ty Farrell Hall. Lydia Lee Hampton. Caitlin Danielle Haney. Austin Michael Harger, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club. Ian Michael Harris. Hannah Grace Hartness. Tristan Hammond Havis. Luke Allen Hawkins. Cassandra Danielle Helmendaler. Anna Christine Hill. Garrett Charles Halka. Garrett Allen Humphreys. Gavin Anthony J. in absentia. Trinity Rachel J. Jordan Michael Joyce, National Honor Society. Charles Hawkins Kendall. Cassidy Nicole Knight. Kirsten Leah Lambert, North Carolina Scholar. Amani Alexis Lash. Bryson Malik Lawson. Adam Fidel Lopez, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club. Madison Grace Lovett. Christina Renee Mabe. Charles Kaiser Martin. Summer Venice McBride. Shelly Marie McKinney. Utah Adrian Mendenhall. Tyler Alexander Mendiola. Elijah Gray Mitchell, Beta Club. Caleb Marquise Mitchell. Avery James Mounts. Brandon Lee Neal. Logan Thomas Nelson. Macy Taylor Nelson, North Carolina Scholar, Beta Club. Sydney Michaela Nelson. Jemiah Regine Oxendine. Landon Zane Parsons. Tristan Nathaniel Pritchard. Caroline Elizabeth Richardson. Kayla Brooke Rickman. Caleb Allen Robeson, North Carolina Scholar. Haley Deanne Rothrock. Colton Michael Sanders. Dylan James Schoolcraft. Stormy Faye Shoemaker. Brandon Lee Simmons. Michael Stephen Edward Simonson. Christopher Michael Slate. Cameron Jacob Smith. Olivia Nicole Smith, North Carolina Scholar. Cassie Leanne Sorrell. Mason Cole Sparks. Jasmine Lynn Steele, in absentia. Mitchell Lee Stevens. Gracie Savannah Taylor, National Honor Society. Ryan Mark Tilley. Ryan Nicholas Tilley. Haley Nicole Tingen. Holly Nicole Totten. Connor Gray Tuttle. Abby Elizabeth Wall. Grayson Lee Wall. Tyler Joe Watkins. Jesse Wade White. Alexis Lane Williams. Belle Marie Williams. Dawson Jarrett Williams. Haley Faye Williams. Nathan Randall Woods.
I now pronounce you graduates of South Stokes High School, class of 2020.
In the mountains stately standing, our alma mater true.
Of our best she is demanding.
No less will ever do.
For all the sorrows who came before us.
And all there are to be.
We pledge our love and true devotion to South eternally.
Thank you, graduates, family members, friends, and staff for attending this year's graduation ceremony. My name is Georgia Brewer, and it is a great privilege for me to be here, standing here in front of you all on behalf of the graduating class of 2020, to express the happiness that we all feel in our hearts today. My fellow classmates, we only arrived here 4 short years ago, and now it's already time to leave and embark on our new journeys. We have all endured many different milestones in each of our high school careers here at South Stokes. In the beginning, we measured our time we spent in high school in class periods, counting down the day to eventual freedom. As the days and weeks passed, we measured it in semesters, later in years, as we moved from being those clueless freshmen to sophisticated sophomores who thought they had it all figured out. By the time we reached junior year, we were confident that we were prepared to take over for the graduating seniors and couldn't wait to rule the school. Unfortunately, our senior year was cut short by COVID-19. Although this pandemic has impacted our senior year, if there is any group that can overcome this situation, it is our group. When many of our high school memories begin to fade, we'll ultimately measure the time we spent here, not in the periods or semesters or years, but in the friendships that we made and the times we spent together. The next time we find ourselves on this campus, we will no longer be students, but we will always be Sarahs. There's nowhere else on earth where you can be a Sarah, but I'll always be proud to wear that honor with pride. And now here we are on our graduation day. Our time is over at South Stokes. However, graduation is not an end goal in itself. Our graduation should serve as a launching point, projecting us to wherever our futures are meant to take us. Congratulations, my fellow graduates of the class of 2020. And remember that wherever we go and whatever we decide to do, these friendships and memories will last us a lifetime. Thank you.